Hey, it's the Route 20 guy. I'm coming to you today from Lenox, Massachusetts on 20, which is right behind me. This is actually a bypass, so it's a little bit busier than the historic route, but it was a nice setting here. But today, June 7th, marks my 9th year anniversary of taking the road trip for the first time from Boston to Newport, Oregon. And it was an amazing experience, and it's grown into this organization now, something I never thought possible when I first started the trip 9 years ago today. So I want to share with you some of my tips and what I've learned about traveling across the country. Because one of the biggest questions I get doing these trips is, how can you afford to do this? And you must be rich, first of all, to be able to do all this. Well, first of all, I tell everybody I'm kind of frugal when I travel, and these are some tips to help you go with your frugality, or if you just want to plan this road trip. So keep in mind, I took 2 weeks originally to go across country, and here are the tips if you want to go 2 weeks and have 2 weeks time, either this summer or even planning for next summer or the fall. So most people are thinking you have to be rich again and have thousands of dollars to do this. Well, I'm here really to tell you, you don't have to do that. You have to have a little bit saved up, of course, but you need to plan on about $125 a day on average to travel across the country. So for 2 weeks time, you're going to have about $1,500, $1,800 or so. But that's what I did in 2010, and gas prices were $1 more per gallon or even higher back then. So, you figure in this is your gas cost, your eating, your lodging, and everything in between, tickets or, trying to get into historic sites, etc., etc. Now, you're not going to spend $125 a day, really. But it's a good average to go on. So if you want to budget that out, you can say, well, today I only spent $50 because I had two light breakfasts and a meal, lunch, and then dinner was $10, $15, and I camped out for $10. Wow, and I only spent $30 in gas that day. So you're doing pretty good. Now, but on the other hand, you might need to spend your night in a hotel, and that's going to be about $50, $60 or so. And you went out to dinner because it was a really special restaurant you really wanted to try out in Iowa, and things like that. So, but this is what you pretty much want to budget on, is $125 a day. And again, you can adjust this. If you know you're going to camp out every single night, then this number is going to be a lot lower. If you're hiking or walking, you don't have to pay for gas. So, you're going to do pretty good. So, again, it's your gas, lodging, food, sightseeing, and fees. And it's as much as you can accomplish in that time frame. And of course, if you're doing 2 weeks at a time, you're not going to have a lot of time to spend a lot of money, and also for souvenirs. So, gas. If you're really thinking about gas, this is the formula I came up with. It's pretty simple. You want to figure on about 4,000 miles for the trip across the country. That's going on and off the highway just a little bit. And divide by your gas mileage for your car. So hopefully you have an economic car driving. So you can figure that out. If it's 32 miles per gallon, hey, great. If it's only 18 miles per gallon, it's going to cost you a lot more. And back in 2009, I had a gas guzzling SUV at 16 miles per gallon. So it did cost me a lot more, but only for $1,800 again. And then multiply that by the price of gas today, and do an average across the country, just so Massachusetts right now is cheap. In the Chicago area, it's almost $3 now. So you just want to budget that out. And if you're doing a round trip, just multiply it by 2 in the end. But first and foremost, if you're driving, you want to know how much gas money you need, because you don't want to get stranded without gas. Everything else, you can sleep in your car if you have to. Lodging. So when I go traveling, well, one thing, I take a tent with me, and campsites are really abundant once you get further and further west, past Chicago really, and then all the way out to the west coast. Almost every town seems to have a campsite. Further east are a little bit harder to find, but you can find them in national forests or even state forests, some state parks, local parks, and they can be really cheap. Free up to $10, $15 a night, and you get a shower with that, so why not try that? The other thing I really, really like is looking for hotels on Priceline.com. If you go into their deals, you're going to find prices for hotels anywhere between $35 and $50 a night. Now, they're not going to be your most 5-star hotels, of course, but they're going to be actually pretty decent. And I have yet to find one that isn't so decent. And if I do, I will let you know. But more than likely, you can also read some of the reviews, and you can do a little guessing too, which hotel you might get. But for the most part, do your homework and a little bit ahead of time, and maybe even just go on the Priceline app before you leave to see which cities have the cheapest hotels. And it's kind of interesting what you'll find out. I have also just traveled 30 miles off of the highway to save myself $60 for a night in a hotel. It's worth it, really, because I mean, a tank of gas is going to get you 300 miles and you're only going 60 miles, so you just have to budget appropriately. And again, camping, $10 to $20 a night. That's kind of cheap. You know, have a tent, or even sleep in the back of your truck or your SUV if you have one. Sleep in your car, you're really going to get tired, but you can do it. I've done it. It gets sore. And so, food. This is probably where most people unconsciously spend a lot of money. Lunch, breakfast, you can eat for under $5 a day. Yes, going to a diner, having the best thing that they have is going to be roughly around $9, $10 a dish. But if you just budget that frugally, sometimes you can get, you know, a slice of breakfast pizza and a coffee for under $3, or just about $3 wherever you go, and then splurge a little more on dinner. If it's a good steak place or seafood place, or just that unique diner or restaurant, you might want to just spend it once a day and not 3 times a day. So it can be doable. Some useful tips that you might want to consider while traveling the highway: get a gas card. Places like Cumbies here in Massachusetts and New York, and other places across the country offer a cents off gas price, like 10 cents per gallon. That's going to save you a lot of money, so do that ahead of time. I'm going to have a lot of these links for you. And again, the Priceline, 30 to 50% off your hotel rooms. And just keep in mind, tax is not included in those early prices, but still, you're going to find some pretty good deals there. Many people don't use them for some reason. You may not get the best room, but you're going to get a decent room. And I have yet to have a decent room, except for one place. I'm not going to spoil it, but Boise, make sure you find a good hotel in Boise, not on Priceline. And so you can do it frugally, and you know, traveling the country doesn't have to break the bank for you. Also, get a gas card. That is saving me a lot. You know, whether it's a Phillips 66, which is across the country, or even a regional like Marathon, something like that. They really do help you, because therefore you can worry about paying that when you come home. And I really like that idea. So of course, you know, travel within your means. We don't want you to break the bank, but also it's not going to break your bank if you budget wisely. And roughly, if you save up $1,800, you can go across country and come back within that $1,800. And that's, again, driving. So I hope these few tips helped you for traveling across the country, and hopefully you'll take this journey on Historic Route 20. And we look forward to seeing you on the highway pretty soon. Have a great day.